Well, hello, everybody. This is called Let's Talk About It. It's myself and Linda who's on here, and we have a topic. Let's get into our concerns. And as you know, in our communities, there are a lot of concerns. But most recently, the most heightened concern that we have is mass incarceration. And in mass incarceration, there is excessive sentencing, there's dehumanization, there's wrongful conviction, and there is little accountability. And so these are the concerns of mothers, grandmothers, aunties, uncles, nieces, nephews, just family members and friends in our community. And our voices are pretty much going unheard. And so we want to start to address a lot of things. So we're bringing things to the forefront, especially things that we find out. Like today, we was in a meeting. We found out about a new bill that sentences juveniles to life sentences. Um, Linda is working on a roundtable that we can invite our elected officials, those who have the power to make decisions, to the table. So not only do we let them know about the problems, we try to work on solutions to the problem. Now, everybody's not going to understand because everybody hasn't experienced what some have experienced. So, this platform here, we're going to be doing a lot of videos, a lot. And we're going to be bringing things to the forefront that needs to be addressed. And as I've said many times before, it's election time. That it is. All right, Linda, what's your take?
Well, as you stated, we attended this meeting, and it was really enlightening to know that there are many organizations that are against this injustice with our justice system.
Mm-hmm.
And we are now linking with these organizations, the organizations that are providing supportive services are now coming back to the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
What we Sisters of the Hood intend to do is to make sure that our voices are heard. There are mothers out there facing the same dilemmas that I'm facing. There's children, there's daughters, sons are incarcerated. We feel that it's wrongful. We feel that it's excessive. We feel that they have been dehumanized, but also we have been dehumanized.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're looking for accountability.
Okay. So let's have conversation here because we talk all the time about a lot of stuff. So when you talk about accountability, who are the individuals that's missing on that level that is not fully being accountable?
Okay, let's start from where it really begins. The court system,
Mm-hmm.
the attorneys,
Mm-hmm.
they're accountable to their higher ups.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the judges?
Mm-hmm.
What does I thought Timothy Evans was
The
head
chief judge.
chief judge, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But when you reach out to that department, they know nothing. They know no more than you do.
Mm-hmm.
They
Is it that they don't know nothing or they trying not to get involved?
Well, I think basically it's both of them.
Okay.
They're not trying to learn anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The accountability only relates to us. That's
Mm-hmm.
the individual that's being accused. Where you used to be innocent until proven guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they say you did it,
You did it.
you did it.
Mm-hmm.
You could be sitting with the president,
Mm-hmm.
but they say you did it. You did
Mm-hmm.
it. So that's where the dehumanization comes in. You're tearing down my word. My word is my bond. If I said I didn't do something until you can prove me different, then I didn't do it.
Okay, so put a pause there. So this is something that me and you have been talking about for a minute. And with accountability, I think now, which is better late than never, that they're starting to understand the impact of not doing what they should as relates to placing people behind bars. Because recently, Kim Fox has the program, right? The resentencing, for they're going back and looking at individuals' records, and they're finding, because I sent you an article this morning, that they're finding
Yes,
a
they are
lot of people that was convicted, was
wrongful
falsely, wrongfully convicted. And so,
and provided excessive sentencing.
exact. And so the question goes back, who's accountable? Now who's accountable? Because like you said earlier in the conversation, you got the judges, you got the state's attorney's office, you got private attorneys, you got the police department. So when these errors are made and individuals' lives are stolen, because that's what you have done. You stolen the individual lives, you stolen time if they had kids, you stolen time if they was married, you stolen time from the mother and the father, their family. You stole all that time. And one thing you can't get back once it's gone is time.
It's mine.
So the question then becomes, who should be accountable?
That's the question. And that's one of the things that we hope to accomplish at the round table. The
Mm-hmm.
accountability. I
Okay.
mean, it's time for us all to understand that no one is no better than the other.
Mm-hmm.
If an Italian said that was accused of retail theft, then that Italian should be treated just as that Afro American that was accused of the retail theft.
I agree. I agree.
So this is where this accountability will come in at. You're right. As a victim of the justice system, they can't give me my 20 years back.
Not at all.
But you know what?
What?
Also can't appreciate what I did with my 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I'm bringing everything back,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm bringing others with me in the same
Mm-hmm.
position to
Okay.
discuss wrongful deeds.
Right. But is accountability, is it a law or what is it?
It's just what it says it is. It's an accountability act.
Okay.
An accountability act. Nowhere have I seen it listed as a law. And I've been all over this computer.
Okay. So when you think about an act, you're assuming, to me, when you say accountability act, you're assuming that I was the individual who took part in the act without having validation to prove that I was actually a part of the act. And neither do you have any individuals that can state strongly that I was a part of the act. So then the question becomes, how do this slip through the courts? How do it become a gateway where somebody is giving 20 plus years in prison on a act that is not law?
That's one of the questions that we would love to have brought to the round table. I don't have a degree in lawyer, attorney, law, any of that. I'm just applying God's rule,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm seeking, just as many others are out here seeking. It's time to end the Accountability Act as it is.
Mm-hmm.
If it's an act, it's an act. If it's a law, it's a law. Which is it? That's the question.
Right.
What, who
Right.
does it affect,
Right.
and what are the results of it? These
Right.
are things that we need answers to.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. So when we talk about dehumanization, to me, dehumanization is making someone feel less than what they are. Is not treating them as human beings. Is actually animalistic behavior when I think about dehumanizing somebody, because now you're not looking at them as a human being. You looking at them like, and you look at an animal or something that you're scared to bring in your house, or whatever it may be. And when we talk about dehumanizing individuals, we're talking about things like not feeding them, not respecting them, all kinds of stuff that makes them feel less than. And for us to have institutions out here that's supposed to house human beings and make them feel less than, then I ask the question, what is the purpose of the constitutional laws? What is the purpose of the Pledge of Allegiance? What is the purpose of the preamble? What is the purpose of human rights if you're not going to treat people right?
Well, that again is part of the answers that we're seeking from the officials, because our interpretation of dehumanization is just as yours is. But mine's go a little bit deeper,
Okay.
because, as I stated before, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty.
Mm-hmm.
But if an Italian and an Afro American walk through the door in a retail theft, that Italian can get a bond. That Afro American, they're gonna find so many other things to tack on to him until he won't be going home.
Okay,
So
but what
that
other?
that makes that individual, their self-esteem right there, they're dehumanized.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying I'm lying,
Right.
but you're letting this person go. Same case as my case.
Right.
Okay? Now, dehumanization is also the way the prison, and I'm not saying that all officers within the prison system are wrong. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying that, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying that some of them have the mind of an evil demonic spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I have been into prisons where I have been actually talked down to
Mm-hmm.
for no reason at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to learn how to hold my peace because I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to be left there. Okay. So
Right.
these are dehumanizing factors. They're put in a situation where they no longer have the respect that they need, even as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm incarcerated does not mean I'm not still a human being.
Right. Right.
So why am I treated any less? I was reading up where they removed this segregation, and when they do wrong, they put them in seg and isolation. Now they've made a law, but this law has been in effect since 15. How many people have been actually put in segregation for more than 10 days?
Mm-hmm.
That's humanizing.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. You're left in a room for so many days with no communication in this small room.
Mm-hmm.
That's not building me up. That's not, we're supposed to be being rehabilitated. How is that rehabilitating me?
It's not.
How is it rehabilitating me when I have to call home and ask for an extra couple of dollars because the commissary went up on the oodles of noodles or whatever it is?
Mm-hmm. It's oodles and noodles.
That's dehumanizing, because now I have to ask my family to help me. And they're
Mm-hmm.
already doing their best because
Right.
I've been out of the house.
Right.
So
Right.
my income is gone. And now we're all living on that one income.
Right.
Humanization. That's not only to the inmate, but that's to the family as well.
Mm-hmm.
I could go on and on about it.
And I don't, that's the one piece that I don't think that they actually realize the impact. They think by locking them up, like in the meeting, the girl said, when you lock me up, you lock my family up too. Because let's use this as a scenario. So you got a husband and a wife, and they have like 4 kids. The husband gets put away for a certain amount of time. Now they was living off of 2 incomes. Now they're down to 1 income. They got mortgage, they got car note, they got car insurance, they got uh they have grocery bills, they have utilities, they have taxes,
Insurances.
insurances. They still have to clothe their kids, and they still have to pay school fees. Now the 1 income is down, and now the spouse is taking the burden of everything. And at the same time, the burden gets heavier because now the spouse has to pay a 5,000 to 10,000 dollar retainer fee for an attorney, or put their house up, and doing that while they're going through the process. Now the inmate, the person that's been institutionalized, has to have money for commissary, has to have money put on their books, have to have money to make phone calls. You don't get nothing in there. You got to buy your long johns, you got to buy all this stuff. And so now the financial burden is on that spouse.
But that's
Plus,
what I just said. It's all added into one income. One individual is now over everything, and it's
right,
creating stress. It's creating hardship. The
right,
kids don't understand why their dad is not coming home.
uh-huh,
The mother is struggling. She's trying to maintain. Might have been where the mother is now has to move back home with their parents. That's the
mm-hmm,
stress on the parents' parent.
right.
It's a ripple effect.
It
It's a
is.
ripple effect. And it's non-ending. It's
Mm-hmm,
non-ending. The neighbor feels the impact of it in ways
yeah,
that they don't even realize.
yeah. But then,
Kids' aggressive behavior is acting out in the community. So now the neighborhood is being affected by what I'm going through. I mean, this could go on and on.
mm-hmm,
There's your accountability again.
right,
The accountability in the dehumanization that we are faced with, people of color.
mm-hmm,
So
yep,
that accountability goes further and further.
mm-hmm,
It works with the dehumanization.
mm-hmm,
The constitutional rights have been stripped, and we're supposed to be um, running a program that is supposed to help rehabilitate. How am I rehabilitating when I'm creating more of a hardship? And it's not just the officers' faults with the COVID and the other stresses. Before the COVID even occurred, these things existed.
mm-hmm,
It's been a
yeah,
problem before the COVID, but now
yeah,
it's worse. But there
yeah,
are ways that we can combat this if we can work together.
right,
So
yeah.
that's what we're doing with the roundtable. We're going to bring solidarity to work this thing out.
But the thing is, those, because when I was listening this morning, they was like, and this kind of struck a nerve for me. They was like, well, you should go to them. And I know we had this conversation. Your temperament, your tone is totally different from my temperament and my tone, because I don't feel like we should babysit. I don't feel like I should stroke your back, rub your head, and stroke your ego to get you to understand my concerns and the impact it has for my community. Because when you on TV, when you standing on the corner, when you passing out them flyers, you don't, once you get in office, you don't come back to me and ask me what are my needs. You don't ask me that question. But I, as a constituent, have to find your office, have to make an appointment, make a phone call, send an email to sit at your feet for somebody that I put in the seat to get some time so you can hear my concerns. And
Well,
that's what I have a
as
problem
you
with.
said, temperament. Temperament. Temperament comes with age. I refuse to get upset because it will make my blood pressure go up. If my blood pressure goes up, I can have a heart attack, I can have a stroke. Who am I helping then? No one. So if while you're going off on I'm keeping it real, it's 100, do, da, 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 that's what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's your temperament.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an angry black woman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sage, seasoned citizen. And if I come to you in that fashion, oh, believe me, I'm not going to rub your head, pat your back, but I'm going to treat you like you're a human being. Now, if you push me to the point, I will pull you to the side and say, look, I'm not the one.
Mm-hmm.
I know what my place is. And you don't want me to show you what I can do. But I
Mm-hmm.
pull them to the side. I don't have to. Y'all gonna take the younger, the next generation. Y'all gonna take care of all of that. I'm gonna take care of this here. I got to do. I'm not gonna get angry. I'm not gonna get upset. If you say no, hey, no, it's okay. As God is my witness, I'm moving on. So it's just the way that we're putting it, and it's nothing wrong with the way we're doing it. It's nothing wrong with the way you're doing it. It's just not for me.
Yeah. But the thing, and I understand everybody's an individual, but and I said this because there was a snippet that I saw that Charlemagne the God was talking to the Vice President Kamala Harris, and he was bringing up a situation that Biden talked about when he was running for office that he was going to do for student loans. And so when he wasn't negative, he wasn't nasty. He didn't call him the president. He called him the man that live in the house, which is other people that's controlling the house, and he really didn't have no voice. And she immediately was like, nah, you're not gonna do that. But then I looked at, and this is my point. I look into my not you're not gonna do that. People have their right to how they feel, especially when you promise to do something and you don't keep your word about it. And then it's only us as a race of people who always end up with the short end of the stick. And then you sit here and you wonder why people are bitter, people are angry, people are frustrated, irritated, aggravated, and upset. These are the reasons why. How many lies do you think we are supposed to continue to accept and just chew it and swallow it? Those days are over. Nobody is swallowing. Nobody wants to accept, and it's time for a change. Period.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I think that if everybody in their own realm, their own way, bring it all together, it's like we're fixing to set the table. You know how mama say, make sure you got the cups and the plates and the this and the that and the do and the that. That's what we're doing. We're putting together this table. Now, we're coming in grace and peace because that's what seasoned citizens do. But now how them divas coming, I can't say how y'all gonna come. All I can pray is that they ready for you to come. And then there's the group under you that will
Yeah,
be, and they're a little more feisty. They
very
got
much.
phones. They down there in front of Tom Dart's house and all of these other places. They out there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a level that we're working. And we're hoping that our politicians are paying attention,
Mm-hmm.
paying close attention,
Mm-hmm.
because what you say and do, how you act between now and election determines what your next job will be.
Exactly.
I promise you that.
Right.
We're going to educate, motivate, uplift, sponsor, all of it in one big balloon.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to address the accountability of all of it
Mm-hmm.
and correct it, make the corrections. That's all that's needed.
Mm-hmm.
Corrections.
Yeah.
You know the problem, so now we need the solutions, and we have them. We have them,
Mm-hmm.
but it has to come in that order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I commend each and every level, because we all have a responsibility, and that's to the babies,
Mm-hmm.
to them 2, 3 year olds that's watching, don't know what they're watching, to those
Mm-hmm.
6, 7 years old that's watching, think they understand, but they don't,
Mm-hmm.
to the 11 and 12 year olds that make it by God's grace.
Right.
They're going to need support. So
Right.
let's some pictures that we can show with dignity and pride what we did.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Luther King did it.
Mm-hmm.
He showed in his era what was
Mm-hmm.
to be done, and he did it.
Right.
So now we're doing what we have to be done to have done for you guys and the guys after you. And
Right.
so we're building our own legacy.
Right.
We've waited for the men to straighten it out, but they haven't.
Right.
We're going to give them a chair, a glass of Kool-Aid if they like iced tea, and tell them to watch our strokes. Watch what we do at this point.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
So just to know what our progresses are, like Linda said, she is compiling quite a few people to work on the team. And we're going to be launching a website soon. And this website will house information, upcoming bills being voted on, as well as stories from those stories that you need to hear. It's important. We can no longer live behind closed doors and think everything is okay when it's not. And it's totally not. Mass incarceration is real. And I'll always go back to when me and Linda was at Amber Hall, and the Safety Justice Committee had the meeting, and Kim Fox representative stood there with this pretty PowerPoint presentation, and on one of the slides it says 90% who are incarcerated in the state of Illinois, and we're just talking about Illinois, is 90%.
90.
90%. And in that 90% of
What?
black and brown, let's be specific, 90% of black and brown. So when you think about 90% of black and brown, you already at less 10% from 100. So that means the bulk of the individuals in
Oh,
our institutions are black and brown. And so what you're saying, so it's sending a couple of messages. It's saying that nobody commit crimes but black and brown. It
that's one.
also says that if the black and brown commit crime, they don't get to get a bond, they don't get to go home, they going straight to jail, do not collect $200. But if the white person walk before a judge, he's already receive compassion and sympathy, a slap on the wrist, and he or she gets to go home. Now, with that 90% that was clearly defined in Kim Fox office presentation, 50% of those individuals that are housed are innocent. Now that's statistical data for your ass right there.
And that's from your who
State's
made that?
attorney's office.
Would you repeat that?
Your
I want
state's your state's attorney's office.
and
That
that
are
would
your statistical data.
but that would be whose office?
The
Whose
state's
office?
attorney.
But who is the state's attorney?
She's the person who prosecutes.
Who is she?
Kim Fox.
Okay, then that's who we need to be in communication with.
Yeah.
We
So
do. We really do.
yeah.
We need to have some conversation now. Okay, what is the next step?
Mm-hmm.
Where are we going from here? Because you've posted things which made no sense with this resentencing, reevaluation, H1, HB 2129, or whatever it is. You've made statements as to how to apply for this,
Mm-hmm.
but the statements you made have no validity to the process.
Mm.
You're saying, well, it was said that you said to write a letter,
Mm-hmm.
address it to her,
Mm-hmm.
put your name, your ID number, your case
Mm-hmm.
number,
Mm-hmm.
and why you think your case should be reassessed. Could someone explain how that's a legal procedure? When you have to file a motion to breed in the judicial system, now they're
Okay.
just accepting letters.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that on our next video so we can go a little bit deeper. All right. So this is going to conclude this one. And then we're going to come back with another video. And we're going to talk about the process and procedures for the resentencing and how it's not working and the reasons why it's not beneficial to those who are behind bars. All right. So don't forget, Linda is working on some roundtables up on the Sisters of the Hood. If you want to know what Sisters of the Hood is about, go to the website. That's www.sisters, sistas, of the hood, HOOD.com. And
Okay.
you will find out what we are about. And you can also check out my YouTube channel, Reality Is. I'm the fire, she the water. Reality Is, RealityIzz on YouTube. We will be back. We thank you for tuning in. If you know anybody who needs this information, send it to them. If you would like to contact Linda in reference to the roundtables, you may do so at the Gmail address, sisters of the hood 312 at gmail.com. That is sisters, SISTASOFTHEHOOD 312 at gmail.com. Let's be a part of the solution, not part of the problem. Let's not make a difference, but be the difference that needs to be made. All right. All right. So we're going to sign off on this one and then we're going to be back for some more.
Peace.